Take a look at these words. Unrespectful, disrespectful. Which one is right? What do you think? Unrespectful, disrespectful. Well, this lesson is about making positive words negative. How do we do that? Well, we do that by adding little pieces onto the word called prefixes or suffixes. Okay? If it's at the end of the word, it's called a suffix. If it's at the beginning of the word, it's called a prefix. Okay, look at this. The word do, the opposite is undo. Undo. Okay, so prefixes and suffixes make a word sort of the opposite of what it means. Okay, so disrespectful is the opposite of respectful. Okay, it's not unrespectful, it's disrespectful. Okay, or look at this. Possible and impossible. Those are opposites. Okay, useful, useless. Those are opposites. Okay, now how do we know which one to use? Well, the answer is you don't. You just either have to guess or you have to learn each one separately. That's why English is a bit hard. Now, sometimes it can be a bit tricky. Okay, look at this. Disorganized, unorganized. Which one's right? Well, they're actually both right, but they mean slightly different things. Okay, look at this. Disorganized means messy, and unorganized means not organized yet. Okay, for example, his room is always disorganized. That means his room is always messy. He leaves his stuff everywhere. It's so disorganized. But if I say right now, the plans are unorganized, that means the plans have not been organized yet. Okay, so we could say that. Sometimes the same word in English can have a different prefix and have a different meaning, or have a similar meaning. Okay, like these words here, uncover and discover. Uncover and discover. They're both very common words in English, but what's the difference between them? Well, to uncover something means to take the cover off. Okay, let's say you're sleeping here, right? You're sleeping and you have your blanket over you. Okay, a blanket is often called covers. Covers, okay? So you're sleeping under your covers, and I come and I take the blanket off of you. Okay, then I'm uncovering you. I'm uncovering you. Now, the word discover sort of has a similar meaning, but it's more like to do with an idea or a place. Okay, it means like to find or to explore. If you discover the cure for a disease, that means you're taking the cover off the disease. Now we know how to cure cancer or AIDS. If you cure cancer, then you've discovered the cure for cancer. Okay, or sometimes when I travel, I love discovering new things, new places, new kinds of food, new languages. Okay, that's what discover means. So uncover and discover have very similar meanings. Okay, now if you don't like traveling and you don't like discovering new things, then you just like to be contented and comfortable. Okay, both of these words pretty much mean the same thing. Contented and comfortable mean relaxed, you're at peace, you're at rest. Okay, you just like to stay in your house because your house is nice and comfortable. Okay, now what's the opposite of these words? How would we make these words negative or opposite? What should we add? Well, contented becomes discontented, and comfortable becomes uncomfortable. So even though they mean basically the same thing, we use a different prefix. Why? Well, like I said, I don't know. This is English. Welcome to English. Okay, let's take a look at the prefix D. Okay, now we use this one when we're talking about reversing a process. A process when we want to reverse the process. Okay, we have an appliance called a dehumidifier. Okay, I'm not sure if you have dehumidifiers in your country. Maybe if you live in a very humid country. Okay, humidity means moisture in the air, water in the air. Like if you live in the Philippines, for example, the Philippines has very high humidity. There's a lot of moisture in the air. So you might have a dehumidifier in your house to take the moisture out of the air. Okay, that's a process. It might take a few hours to take the moisture out of the air. Okay, take a look at this example. Tensions are escalating. Tensions are escalating. It means they're getting worse. They're getting higher. How can we de-escalate the situation? How can we de-escalate the situation? Okay, so that's a good example there. Okay, let's take a look at the prefix mis. So mis means wrong. Okay, like this word here, miscommunication. If we had a miscommunication, let's say you came to my house on Thursday and I thought you were coming on Friday. So that would be a miscommunication, okay? We communicated something wrong, okay? Or let's say a friend tells me, the US has invaded Iran. The US has invaded Iran. Okay, invade means to go in with force. It means to move in with force. Like the US invaded Iraq back in 2003, right? Iraq didn't welcome them. Iraq didn't want them, but the US invaded them with force. Tanks, jets, aircraft carriers, troops. Okay, so that's what invaded means. So if a friend tells me the US has invaded Iran, and then I tell you the US has invaded Iran, and then later I'm reading the news and I find out, oh wait, the US didn't invade Iran, my friend was lying or something, then I would say to you, sorry, I was misinformed. Sorry, I was misinformed. Okay, my friend misinformed me. I got the wrong information. So I'm sorry that I said that because it was wrong. I was misinformed. It's not my fault. I was misinformed. Sometimes you hear politicians say this. They say, oh, I was misinformed. Okay, I got the wrong information. Let's take a look at this example. The politician was fired for misconduct. Okay, what's misconduct? Misconduct means behavior that is unacceptable. Okay, if a politician does something or says something that's bad or that's unacceptable, maybe he will get fired. Okay, that's what misconduct is. Okay, so for example, maybe he was partial to the rich. Partial to the rich, it means maybe he treated rich people better than poor people. Okay, often politicians do that. They treat rich people better than poor people. Partial means to show favoritism. Okay, so the politician showed favoritism to the rich, right? And that's not good. Politicians need to be impartial. Okay, impartial means the opposite of partial. Impartial means fair. Okay, you want your politicians to be fair to everyone, right? You don't want them to treat the rich better than the poor, but most of the time, politicians are criminals, right? So anyway, let's do some homework. I want you to try to make a few sentences with these things here, okay? D, un, dis, miss, im, less. Try to put these on some words. Try to make some sentences. Post your sentences down there in the comments, and I'll tell you if you're right or wrong. Okay, see you over in the next episode of Mad English TV. Take care.